Hello, everyone, and welcome to my stream of Tribe XR, the DJ app for Oculus Rift. And I'm having somebody join my session to give me some lesson or something. Let's see what happens. Hello, whoa,
Hello, hello,
hello.
hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Nice. I like your avatar.
I don't even remember what it was. I just created it real quick.
You got a tuxedo and a fabulous goatee.
Oh yeah, I'm
How you doing?
good.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah,
Aces. Um, yeah, yeah. You and me, we're gonna rock this joint.
cool.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What brought you to DJing? What are some of your goals? Let me
Nah,
give
I
you a
just
quick
wanted
intro.
to mess around. I do like rhythm games like Beat Saber. I made my own beat map, so I played
Oh,
like
nice.
musical instrument. I played trumpet for a long time. I don't really care for it
Awesome.
anymore, but I just always kind of like electronic stuff, and I see other people doing this cool DJ and be cool to make my own mix or just mess around.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, it sounds like, you shared that sort of country video mashup. Doing something like that would be pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, what'd be really cool is to show you some of the basic mechanics and get you to the point where you could put together your own playlist and do your own set with your own tracks, something that really reflects your style.
That'd be cool.
That's one thing that's different about this experience, this app,
Mhm.
compared to something like some of the other rhythm games, like some of the other rhythm games, is that you can load your own tracks and you can do a for real DJ set. This gear right here is a simulation of real gear
Yeah, I looked it
in
up
the real world.
online. This is like $6,000 worth of stuff.
It's $6,000 worth of stuff, and it's what the pros use. It's what they use at the clubs and at the festivals. So you have access to the exact same equipment, and you can do the exact same sort of performance that they do. So. Um, but really, what it comes down to is getting some of the basics and then loading up your own tracks and then live streaming. So, like the best outcome, I feel like, is if you could take what you learn and then just start performing and like live streaming. That would be pretty awesome.
Might be DJ one day.
Yeah, it'd be like you could be like a virtual DJ, like a VR DJ, you know, and then everything you learn here you can do in the real world. So if you go to a club or a bar, or, festival, you can play these exact same techniques, exact same tracks, and do it for reals in real life. So yeah, but cool. um, what do you know so far? I could give you kind of like your intro essentially into
I played the little
into your
intro
gear.
thing, so I know like this switches between if you go all the way left, you hear only this track, and then you fade it in between.
Yep,
And
that's exactly right. That's your
these
crossfader.
yeah, that's what it's called.
Yep.
Um, I mean, that's really it. I don't. I know the other ones they all adjust like trebles and basses and mids and all that, but I don't know
Yeah. I mean,
exactly
as a
which one does
trumpet
which.
player, yeah, as a trumpet player, I think the concepts will be familiar to you. It's the same in any kind of music theory. You have so basically these channels right here, these channels, um, this whole vertical column of stuff is assigned to deck one. You can see deck here is deck
Hmm.
one. This whole one here, channel four, this one's assigned to the deck two, the right deck. These two are locked because we don't have four decks. We could one at some point add two more CDJs, but right now we don't have that. So these are just locked. You can ignore those for now.
That
So
sounds
just
like a lot of
again, this
work, mixing four songs and shit.
yeah, I mean, I think you'll get there. It's sort of a rabbit hole. You'll start doing one, two, and you're like, oh man, I want to add a third. You can get really creative about it. I think what people do is they'll have their kind of foundational mix. They'll mix from one track into the other, but then they'll want to sprinkle some sounds onto that mix, some like high end sounds. So they'll want a third deck for doing stuff like that. Yeah,
Okay.
but two is a good starting point.
Yeah.
So you got your channels assigned to deck one, this channel assigned to deck two. Um, and I can actually give you a quick overview of the gear. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
And I'll just do a quick drive-by because some of the stuff you've already kind of practiced, but I'll give you a quick drive-by. So these are your CDJs. These are the things that you use to play your music. This is your mixer. This is what you use to mix your music. The CDJ has got this big jog wheel in the middle. It's basically an evolution of the vinyl, like old school records, but basically now it's digital and uses CD. It's modeled after using the CDJs, but um, we don't use CDJs anymore, especially in VR, so it's all digital. So just think of everything as using MP3s and WAV files. But basically, this whole column of stuff, that's your play button, that's your cue button. You use this to play and cue your tracks. These are your search buttons. You can use that to go backwards and forwards through your tracks. This is your direction knob that you can play the track backwards and forwards. These are your hot cues. You can use these for bookmarking locations and playing them on the fly. We can talk more about that in a minute. These are your loop buttons. You can use this for setting your loops, your in loop, your in point and your out point in your loops. This whole area of stuff is mostly about the loops. You've got your jog wheel here. You can use this to search through your track. If you grab it, move it forward and backwards. This thing helps adjust the sensitivity of that jog wheel. This thing sets the jog wheel mode, so you can be in vinyl mode or you can be in CDJ mode. There's slightly different behaviors between the two. This is your sync button. You can use this to sync this deck into the other deck. This is like a really important button to start with, and I can explain more about that.
yeah.
And then this is your pitch slider. This is what you use to speed up and slow down your tracks. So that's a quick drive by of the CDJs. Do you have any questions
No.
at this point? Okay. So then this is your mixer. Like I talked about, these columns, they're assigned to the decks. Um, Let me just start from here. This area, this is for your virtual headphones. You can use these to cue your tracks, and I'll explain more about that later. But this is basically what, in real life, when you see those DJs holding the headphones to their ear while they're
Mm.
mixing, they're basically doing something that we've emulated here using this idea of a virtual headphone. These are here as your mic inputs. You can use this from speaking over into the master audio. This whole area, these are your color effects. So these are the different effects that you can use, and these are the knobs that you can use to control your effects. And of course, this knob is going to be associated with this channel, and this knob is going to be associated
So
with
where's
this
the
channel.
color change? Where's the color go?
Well, the color, it's a metaphor. It's not really like red, white, and blue, or red, green, and blue. It's more like um, the tone of the track. So this has to do with like your
Oh,
high pass and your low pass, your echo, things like that. So, but they're just called color effects. So this whole column, these are your EQs. You can use this to shape the quality of the music, like the tone of the music. These are your highs, your mids, and your lows. You can think of this as like your treble and think of this as your bass. Um, these basically help you control the frequencies of the song, but they
hmm.
basically let you change the shape of the song. This is your volume slider. You can use this to increase and decrease the volume of the track. Here is your cue button. You use this one in combination with these buttons here, and I can talk more about that. We talked about this. And then you got your crossfader. This column of stuff right here is for your master audio. So this knob right here lets you set the master volume, and this one lets you set the left-right balance of the master. And these, we these are not set up right now, so you can ignore that for now. The next version of this has this set up. Um, and then lastly, this is your beat effects panel. This is what you use for doing also effects on the track, but they're more rhythmic oriented. So these are your color effects, these are tone oriented effects, and these are your beat effects, these are beat oriented effects. So those are pretty much
So what does the
the
beat do? Like make it
overview.
go faster?
It makes it
Oh, I
adds
see. 1/4
different,
time.
yeah, like rhythmic qualities. So I can show you some of that when we start playing some tracks. So any questions? Any other questions?
Uh, well, just a couple things. Maybe you'll go over during your little lesson, or. Okay, so you say you got to play in a queue. So how does the queue work? Like, what does the queue do?
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what. Let's do a quick mix, and then I'll show you, and we can kind of that leads us into the cue button, which is um, the cue button. Basically, is this really special button, and it's designed specifically for the DJ workflow, and it does different things in different situations. And out of the blue, it's kind of hard to understand, but when you start mixing, you'll understand. Oh, that's why they did that because it's exactly for the DJ workflow.
Okay.
So one thing that we can do is we can practice with some of the sample tracks.
Hmm. That's fine.
So if you could load up a couple sample tracks, like Biggie Says is a good one because it's got a good solid downbeat. So if you
Oh,
can
where's
find that,
Big? Okay. I like the
yeah,
I played that one song too. I got on my Google Play Music now. It's the Let's Play House. Is that a good one?
yeah, Let's Play House is a good one. If you could load that up on this track that we're
Okay.
on this deck,
Yeah, I liked it so
okay,
much. I had to look it up on Google Play Music and add it to my phone.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, Cryoman's a friend of ours, and they're both Cryoman tracks. So we're really grateful that he shared those tracks with us. So yeah, okay.
So,
So
are you like the developer, or are you just a mod on the Discord?
I'm the product manager basically. You know, I'm one of the founders of
But
the
you work for
company.
the company? Okay.
Yeah, I work for the company, and yeah, and I help kind of yeah manage the product basically. Okay, so one thing to notice when we load up the tracks, we see all this information about the tracks. This gives you the large scale waveform for the track. So this is the start of the track and this is the end of the track. There's also a little line that goes across the track.
Hmm.
It'll scroll across when you play. That's your current time in the
Got it.
track. There's also this little yellow thing right here. This yellow triangle is your cue points, and this is associated with that cue button. And we could talk more about that. But you can think of it as a bookmark, really.
Oh,
Then, yep. Then there's more metadata, and this is probably the most important one. This is your BPM, your beats per minute, and this is at
you
125.
want both
This will be,
match, right?
yeah, they both match exactly, and we did that on purpose just to make it convenient so that it's easy to mix. But this will be your key to beat matching. Are you familiar with the concept of beat matching?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this gives you some information about how to beat
So
match.
if are all the songs in this game, they're all the same.
Yeah, right now they're all 125 to make it
So
simple,
what
but
happens if I load my own? That's something weird. Does it know what the
yeah,
beats are? Does the game automatically detect it?
yeah, it automatically detects it. It analyzes the track and it determines the waveform, the downbeats, and the BPM. And I would say it's about 90% accurate. There are times when it's inaccurate, like if the track is, um, maybe it has
Changes
some variation.
tempos. Yeah,
Yeah,
that sucks.
it's more. Yeah, maybe that's then you can't quite figure out. But
You're growing a robot voice.
oh, I think I've crashed. Are you crashing? Am I
I'm
crashing?
okay.
I think something about to crash. I don't see you move at all. Get wonky. Oh,
Are we back?
I think so. Maybe the network just got choked up. I saw you move for a second there.
Are we back?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, need no more robot voice. Looks like your
No more robot
animations are
voice.
catching up. Okay, your animations are caught up. Wave.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the anime. Okay, you're back. Good. I can see you now. Good, good. Yeah, there's some network snafu. Okay, cool. So we were talking about yeah, when you load your own tracks, the analysis is going to be 90% accurate, depending on the style of music. So you may have to, you can use the track analysis, but at some point you're going to have to learn how to beat match by override these waveforms and make the decisions based on how you hear things and how you see things.
Is that something you teach, or is that a more complicated lesson?
Yeah, I mean, it won't be the first lesson, but these lessons lead up to that ability. But
Oh,
once
okay,
you get the basics, it'll be really easy to do those things.
cool.
So the thing that we would do next is okay. So let's play this track and we'll talk through some of the music theory. But before you do that, turn this down about
Oh, hold on,
you know
my desk.
that's okay. Whoops. Turn it
Damn.
down like
Let me
halfway.
move my. Let me sit back a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah, turn it
turn it
down
down
like half.
so we don't
Yeah, there you go.
so we can talk
Perfect.
over everything.
Exactly.
I hate them YouTube
Okay,
videos where
cool.
somebody's talking. There's like rap music playing, and you can't even hear what they're saying because the rap music's so loud.
Yeah, it totally collides. The sound collides. This volume is a little bit low too, so we can turn that up probably. Okay, cool. And then one thing I noticed that this is on right now. Probably maybe yeah, exactly. If you put your right hand to your ear and click the trigger, it should turn it off. Okay, so you turn
Okay.
it, and I can explain what's happening there. But basically now you have both headphones active and working, which is good. So go ahead and push play. So you can see the scrolling waveform. You can see the big parts of the waveform,
That's
the
the
wide
bass.
parts. That's the bass. That's the kick. It's the downbeat. It's basically the thump, 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 thump. And you can see the little lines
Hmm.
indicate that downbeat as well. And you can see the one with the little red tick mark that goes across the top.
Yeah.
That's the number one beat.
So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Haha. See, all of 7 years of middle school and high school music teach you something.
You got it, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. So that's the thing. So that's also at the heart of mixing, is that you want to get the beats right, and you want to also get the numbers right. You want to get the phrasing right. So okay, let's pause that for a sec. Okay, let's get over to this one. So you got the same sort of thing going on here. You got the large scale waveform, you've got the scrolling, and you got the BPM. Let's go ahead and push play here and listen to the count the beats here. Maybe turn the volume up here. Yep. So do the counting again
One,
like you did
two,
last time.
3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. Blah 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 blah. So on.
Yep, you got it exactly. So go ahead and push pause. All right, great. So what we want to do when we mix is we want to play track one, and then we want to play track two on the one beat. So when this thing hits its one beat,
The red
you want to
triangle.
the red triangle. You want to start this thing on its
Oh,
one beat at exactly.
it's my phone.
Your ringtone is hilarious.
I just ignore it.
So just ignore it.
Let me pause it real
So
quick.
yeah,
Hold on.
yeah,
All right, I'm back.
cool. So yeah, you want to line up the one beats, but you already got the concept of the one beats down. So now, like, I think we're good to give it a shot. Go ahead and rewind this back to the beginning using the search button there.
Track sir.
Yep,
This
do
one
the same
too.
thing there. Yep.
Okay. Wait.
Wait, oh,
Okay.
there you go. And then the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use the sync button. Go ahead and click the sync button here.
Mhm.
So what we've done now is we put this track in sync with this track.
Okay.
And there's two elements to the sync concept. One is the tempo, the speed,
Mm.
also known as the BPM,
Yeah.
125. So it makes those the same. They were already the same, but if they weren't, it would make them the same.
What would
The
it
other
do?
thing
Like, would
it's
it
going to do,
normalize them both, or would it make like that one go the same as that one?
it would make this one go to that one.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. You got it. Yeah, it doesn't like average them out or normalize it. It just sets this one to that one. And then when you switch sides and you want to mix from here to here and click sync there, it's going
Yes.
to set this one to this one. And so that's just how it works.
Okay.
And then the other thing it does is it quantizes the beats. So in other words, it snaps this downbeat to that downbeat. So when you push play, it's going to wait for the next downbeat that it can find and play right when that downbeat hits. So it's going to snap this beat to that beat. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't line up the 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't know about the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's
Oh.
just going to snap the beat. So that's going to be our job, is to push play on the one beat, and it's going to snap everything together, and you're going to have a nice mix. Cool. And we can just try it. It'll make more sense when we actually kind of try it.
All right.
But I noticed that the headphone thing is on again, so maybe
Whoop.
turn that off. Oop. Okay, so let's give it a go. Everything should be good to go. Go ahead and push play. So you count your beats.
Two,
1, 2,
three,
3.
3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
6, 2, 3, 4,
So
7.
wait, pause for 1 second. Pause for 1 second. So actually, you're kind of like you're way ahead of the game actually, because now you're counting phrases. You're not just counting the bars. You're counting like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2,
Yeah, I played
3,
music for
4,
7
3.
years, dude.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. So the thing is, I didn't want to complicate the situation. You're like totally ahead of the game. Well, let's do it where we're just counting fours. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. one,
Okay.
two, three, four, and that'll make it a bit easier for us to start. Then the goal will be to just push play on the one beat. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Okay, let's give it a go. Rewind again to the beginning, and then push play.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One,
Exactly.
two, three, four.
So
One,
when you're ready,
two, three, four.
on the
One,
one.
2, 3, 4.
Nice.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Woo! Nice. And you can grab the crossfader, move it over left and right real quick. Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
That.
Yeah. You got it. You can also do the volumes. Turn this volume. Turn this one down. Yeah, let's switch this one. Yeah. Yep. So we could. This one's about to drop. You can feel it.
Oh,
The bass is about to kick in. Yeah, it's a good idea. Move it all over there. Wait for this thing to drop.
oh, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that beat.
This one's about to drop. Move this one over here. Here it goes.
Oh man, I don't know what it's saying,
Well,
but it sounds cool.
it sounds cool, and it's in sync. Okay, so let's move this all the way to the right for the sake of this. We can pause this for a sec, actually, so we don't lose it. Okay, let's play with some color effects. Oh, you
Oh,
can.
you want?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So click this filter button here, and twist this color. Just adds a little effect, so you can trick it out.
And these are like pre-built. You can't change these.
Yeah, these are pre-built right now.
But in the real thing, can you change them to other stuff?
Well, we might add a sample pad at some point, so you could change. You could add your
I mean,
own.
like if you had the real equipment, is that something that you can change?
Even in the real equipment, it's fixed. It's
Oh,
like these, yeah. So click this dub echo. Try this one here. This one
Oh.
here. Yeah. And now crank it.
oh, I don't like that. What's this noise?
That's a noise. Yeah.
Oh, I hear it's like an ocean sound.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really weird.
That's like a distortion. Yeah. That's the
What does filter do?
It does like a high pass, low pass filter, so it kind of tweaks the bass and the trebles in the bass.
It's really weird. All right.
Yeah. So the other thing too is I'm giving you a demo and we're running out of time. So it's like, hey, wait, we're running out of time. Let's create a loop because then we can do some more stuff. So let's practice a loop. When this thing drops, click this button. So wait for it, and then on the drop. Nice. Okay, give it a second, and then on the one beat again, click this one. Nice. You got a nice loop going there.
And it just keeps going back and forth to that loop.
It just keeps going back and forth, so we got it all the time in the world. Does it sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So now what we can do is we can try some beat effects as well. So go ahead and click that button there.
that turns beats effects on.
Yeah, turn this on to quantize it. And then reduce this a few, like 2 or 3. And then crank this guy up. It's got the echo. You can turn it down
Whoa.
a little bit. So you can kind of blend between the two. And you can try some of the other effects too. These are the types of effects here. So crank that one. Crank it.
Whoa.
It's cutting in and out.
That was going
Increase
deaf.
the frequency here. Isn't that cool? That dun 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 dun. That's my favorite right there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you can
Whoa.
increase and decrease the frequency, yeah. So make it kind of fast. Make it kind of a high frequency. Maybe a bit more? Okay, that's good. Now flip that over.
Oh.
2 to the right. That's a flanger effect. And then do one more to the right. And then turn that down just a bit. So you can hear it's like does this sort of it's called the slip roll effect. And you can increase the frequency here if you want. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. So then when you're ready, you can take it off. And then when you're ready with that, you can
What
release
does
the loop. Yep.
What do the other ones do?
These are not programmed right now.
Oh, okay.
So you can ignore those for now.
So I release the loop.
So
It says
you
release.
can click this to release the button.
Can I
so
go back
now
to it?
let's say that, yeah, you can click it again.
Can it take me back?
Yeah, so it resets the loop.
Does it take me back to that spot? Like if I'm at the end,
To the loop.
oh, if I'm at the end of the song and I click that loop button, it takes me back to where I had the loop.
Yeah, back to the loop where you set the loop.
And when I stop, does it start playing from there, or does it go back to where I?
Yeah, it starts playing from the loop point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not like a slip type thing. So let's say we want to create a hot cue. Go ahead and click this button here.
A.
Yeah, and then click this button. So we just set a hot cue. See how it's green now?
Uh huh.
Go ahead and click the A button.
Takes me back to the red
Just
marker.
yeah, yep, yep. So you can use these to like for different effects. You know, one for looping, it gives you time to do a long mix.
So wait.
You can use these.
Oh, go ahead.
Yep.
So how do I set it again?
So you got it's the mode right here. So click this mode to put it in record mode, and then now click the B button, and now you just now put it back into call mode. So now you have two new.
How can you tell if you're in record or call? Oh, I see. It is blinking. That means it's in
when
record.
It's blinking, it's in record, yeah. And then when it's green, it's in call mode. So click it now before time runs out. All right, cool. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So let's create a. No, that's good.
Can you like save cues in the song, or do you have to do it every time you start it up?
We just implemented a feature where you can save these hot cues. So in the next version, you'll be able to save these hot cues.
Well, hurry up and release it.
Hurry up! So a couple other things too I want to show you is if you click this button here.
Right, let's go at the beginning of the song. Oh, okay. You said vinyl?
Yeah, vinyl. So you just put the jog wheel in vinyl mode. Go ahead and grab the jog wheel and move it around.
And that's where it stops?
Yep. Yep.
How do you play it?
You know, it was click turn off the sync. When it's in sync mode, it does this thing. So go ahead and push play. And now you can do it. And then release.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you click it to the other mode, try it again.
It just keeps playing. It just slows. It just slows down.
Yeah,
or speeds up.
Speeds up.
I was messing with that the other day.
Yeah. And that's easier for beat matching. Like if you want to nudge one track into the other track, you can use it's better to do it this way.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so I guess we can push pause and see. All right. So
what is Q?
We did like
what does Q do
the
again?
Q button. Okay, so the Q button. So the thing that we did is we mixed this track into that track. We did it blind, right? We just kind of all the volume was up and we just pushed play and whatever it was. And luckily, it sounded really good. But normally, what you want to do is you want to cue your track. You want to preview it first. And in this sense, cue means like kind of preview it or line it up or prepare it. So you want to cue this track, but you want to cue it in your private headphones, in your personal headphones.
Okay, I was wondering like if you mix this people here at the club, you're gonna hear you rewinding and shit.
Yeah, you don't want that, right?
All right.
So you find a way to do that.
Hold on, robot voice.
Uh-oh, network back again. Hopefully it'll be back.
Sounds okay.
It sounds okay.
Network
is back. I can hear you. Just give it a second. Let's let the network kind of find itself. Okay, I see your animation now. Network is back.
Network is back.
I'm back. Network is back. Okay, cool. I'm also at home right now, so there's probably some networking wonkiness. Could be my network. So the thing that I wanted to say is okay. So you want to listen to your tracks privately in your headphones, but the weird thing is we have we already have headphones on because we're in VR.
Yeah.
So we introduced this concept of virtual headphones, and that's what this thing's all about, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So let's test that out by rewind this back to the beginning, and let us say that you want to go ahead and push play. So let's say you want to now hear this privately. Right now what's happening is the signal is going from the CDJ into your volume thing here, and then out to the master audio. So if you turn the volume off here, you'll see it turn it like all the way off. So you can see there's no audio now coming out of the master.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You've turned down this volume. If you turn it up, the volume comes through the master output. So the question is, how do you listen to it without sending it to the master output? So that's where the virtual headphones comes in. So turn this off all the way. Now set this cue button, which tells the system, hey, I want to cue this track. And this is how you do it. So do that thing where you put your hand next to your ear.
Oh!
And you can adjust the volume here if you oh, just the headphone audio.
Which one?
One is the balance of the master, and
Oh,
the other is just the volume.
so this one, the level.
Yeah, the level. Yeah. So that's what that does. So you can also do it with the other headphone if you want, right? And then if you turn them off, and then turn, yeah, and then turn the cue off, and then push the volume back in. So you see how that
Oh, the green light.
lets you. That just tells the system I want to send the signal to the headphones.
Okay, and what does that cue do then?
Okay, so that cue is about preparing your track before you start playing it. So that is, go ahead and turn the volume up a little bit, rewind back to the beginning, and sorry, pause. Okay, and then rewind back to the beginning. Okay, so let's say that we want to start on this beat because we're like thinking, okay, I've got this track going. This is where I want to start my new track. I want to set a cue point here so that I can work with that position in the song. So go ahead and click the cue button. So what that's done now is it set that little yellow triangle.
Mm-hmm.
See that? It set it to that point in the track, that beat. So now again, this thing does different things in different moments. So what you did is you reset the cue point right onto that beat. That's what you just did.
Okay.
So now click and hold the cue button.
Oh,
So yep,
that's
click and
it.
hold. So it's playing, 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 playing. You're good. You're listening. You're previewing. You're like, okay, yeah, this sounds good. I like the way this sounds. Go ahead and release. It snapped back to the previous position.
Mm-hmm.
It snapped back to
So
that
when
cue
I'm doing
point.
this, is other people hearing it? Only in my headphones.
When you do this whole headphone thing,
Oh, I have to do the
only
cue.
you will hear it. Yeah, yeah. So turn it down here all the way, I guess. Yeah,
Mm.
activate that.
Now you don't hear it.
Well, I actually have I do not hear it when I turn the volume all the way off though. Now I do not hear it at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you hold it down and it previews and that going goes back. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and it snaps back. And so the idea is that while this one's playing, you can cue by clicking and holding and going, okay, that sounds good. Yes, I want to do that. And then when you release, it goes back to that start point. So you're all ready to go. The last thing about the cue button is, well, there's a bunch actually. Let's say that you want to, let's say there's another scenario where you push play and you decide, you know what? I want this to go back to the current cue point. So go ahead and try that. Push play and now click the cue button. It snapped back to that cue position and paused. And there are times when you'd want to do that. Let's say you want to move the cue point now. The question is, how do you reset the cue point? Let's say you want to reset the cue point to that beat right there. The way you would do that is grab the jog wheel, move it forward, and now click while you're holding the jog wheel, so
Huh?
click the cue button. And now you just reset the cue button to that beat right there.
Okay.
So go ahead and click and hold the cue button and then release. See it snap back to that second beat. Let's say you want to move it back to this beat, grab the jog wheel, put it back, do the thing. Yep. So that's kind of how you reset the cue point. And it'll become some workflows will be, better for you and others you'll be like I don't use them, but that's how the cue point is that's how the cue button is designed. Okay, so now we're going to put it all together and we're going to preview this track before we actually bring in the volume. So go ahead and push play on here and then move the crosshair to the middle so it's got a little bit. So the idea is it's playing. Now we want to hear this track privately in our headphones. So turn the volume off, turn the cue point on, activate the cue button with your controller, and then click the cue thing here. So until you
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's the right point. Yep. Oh, click the sync button here for now, and then do it.
All
So
right.
yeah, you can
Take the cue off.
yeah. And then when you're ready and you're feeling it, push play.
You know what Biggie says?
You know what he says.
Oh, Where's the is the orange timeline not moving?
Well, the orange thing is the cue point. So if you click the cue point, it would go back to that position. This is the white line is the current time that's moving along. See the little white
Oh,
line?
it's almost over.
Yeah.
I thought I rewind. Oh, I didn't rewind it. Whoops.
Yeah, it's okay. You guys still got plenty of
Whoops.
time.
Oh,
Yeah.
what does the filter do? Why is it not playing on the other side?
Uh,
Oh, the song's over, or just about. It's winding
song's
down.
got just the beat. Yeah. Oh, also this thing is on, so it's affecting the. Yeah. Yeah. So now they're out of beat because of the. But that's good. I mean, it's expected. Okay, so let's pause for a second. Let's just think about a second and then pause here. So how was that? How
It was
was
cool.
there was
Learned
a
a
lot
lot.
going on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this cube I mean sort of about the cue button and the what'd you think? I mean, we scratched the surface. That's a lot of what it does. It's kind of complicated. It's going to become more meaningful when you load up your own tracks and you don't, you want to preview the track first before you actually, bring it in. But yeah, anyway, how was it? What did you think? You have any questions, any thoughts?
No, I think I pretty much answered everything there that I was thinking of.
Yeah. Um, okay. Well, the next thing I was sort of curious about is the stuff that you want to play. Um, So I can't, unfortunately, I can't hear your personal tracks just now because I need to have a copy of them myself in order to be able to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
But what would be really cool is if you had like five or so tracks that you wanted um, to play and put
Mm-hmm.
together like a little mini set and like practice it and do it and live stream it. It would be really awesome to put together this little mini set. And part of our goal is to support you, to teach you, to give you like a place like a workshop where you can practice your skills and perform your skills. So the folks in the community, the folks in Discord, if you ask them, they'll jump in and kind of listen and give you feedback and this sort of thing. And if you do it while live streaming, it's even better because then they can listen and they can chat and they can throw the gifts on the back wall and have a lot of fun, like have a little mini party, you know.
All right.
So
I have to look to. I find some songs I like, and
yeah, that's like if your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to find like five tracks that you like, and then let's reconnect and we can like try and apply all the techniques we just talked about.
all right, we'll do. I have to work on it though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A lot of VR games came out for the holidays.
Oh, so you got like
A
a
lot of
whole
sales.
list of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. You got a lot to get through. Cool. Well, I mean, if you get around, we're online. You can hit us up on Discord. We'll be around the rest of the week, of course, and then just all next week as well. So it's
How often do you update? Like on
every
Steam, it's easy to see. On Steam, you can see when updates and the people post like beta builds and all that. I don't know about Oculus.
yeah. Well, we do have beta builds that we push to the Oculus like channel, essentially the release channel, and we can add you to those beta channels if you want early versions of stuff. But we release every few weeks, I would say. It's pretty fast actually. Um, right now we're pushing a version to Vive as well. So do you just have Oculus at home, or do you also
Just
play?
Oculus.
Yeah, yeah. So we push every few weeks, basically. It basically we do a lot of releases, fast iteration. We're taking a lot of input from you and from you guys, and we're rolling it into the product, and then we're pushing it out quickly. Um, yeah, and this is the result. This is the results of a lot of the feedback that you've given us. So, you know,
Cool.
yeah,
Just one thing I wish would be easy would like I like this table. We can like grab it
yep,
up and down, but it'd be like cool if you could also have an option to move it back and forth. Because like sometimes I want to, especially
yeah,
like learning, you're trying to read what the stuff does, and I have to like move backwards. On the Oculus you can choose to reset your view,
yeah.
and then
That's a good point.
I have to go back and forth. I like going up and down, but I want to go back and forth too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe if you could tilt it a little bit as well,
Or
like
like
kind of make things
I
a little
think one
more.
game I played it was like sorry interrupting. It was like I
Yep.
think like if you had one trigger you can go up and down, but if you press both triggers then you would activate the sliding back and forth or something like that. So people aren't
Oh,
just
that's interesting.
so people weren't just
That's a good
accidentally
point.
moving it everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We should definitely. Another thing that we have done that's kind of related is that we have a way of popping up the labels. So if you grab something here, it'll pop up a little label and it'll show you, oh, that's your EQ
How do I
or that's your,
how do I pop
mic.
it up?
Well, it's not there yet. We're just working on it
Oh, you're
now.
working on it. Oh,
Yeah. So if visibility becomes an issue, this that might help address that a little bit. You'd be able to just click this thing and see, bloop. You'd see, oh, that's the loop button or
because right now I have
something.
to like lean over like this and see.
Yeah, you gotta like lean into it and everything. Yeah. Well,
That's cool.
what are your plans? Were you just sort of curious about the
Yeah,
product,
just
or
yeah,
you
just a
actually?
product.
Yeah,
Like I don't have any DJ experience. I'm not planning to be in DJ. I just always kind of thought it was cool and just trying to see how the whole thing works.
yeah. I mean, your curiosity is super interesting, and the fact that you just sort of want to check it out. Well, maybe it'll spark an interest in DJing and playing music, and it's a great way to live stream. Um, People, like so. One of the members of our community, his name is Helix. His name is Seven. He's a member of the Helix VR group, and his whole mission is to just live stream a bunch of VR stuff. And he started streaming this just for fun. Basically, he's not a professional DJ, but he found it to be really fun and really engaging, and people loved watching it. In fact, it's his most engaging experience. It's the thing that most people will stick around for and watch and hang out with him. So he'll get like 200 plus people watching him concurrently, which is a lot for at our scale. Um, and so it's a really good way to live stream and kind of get connected to the community.
Cool. So when you play, is there like multiplayer that people can join in this thing with other, or is it just like a,
Well, yeah, like I am right now. You can
how
totally
many
do
people
that.
can be in there?
Well, it's up to your network. It's sort of there's no limit to it, but after a certain point, it starts to get kind of heavy. Like if you get six or more people, it'll start to get a little bit heavy. But the thing is, with live streaming, you get one or two people here. I could come behind the table, and you could kind of be having a little party and a little show for the people that are watching in the stream.
How do you move around?
Well, you have to kind of trick it out. You can't actually like teleport around. You have to recenter a bunch of times to to make it work. Do you know about the spectator camera?
No.
Okay, so in your on your physical keyboard, with when this game is active, make the game active, put it in focus, and click the space bar on your
Uh,
physical keyboard.
uh oh, oh, okay. Hey, it's DJ Jerry Cherry Pie.
Yeah, Jerry Pie. So this way you can do a show. We also have a feature where people can put images on the back wall. You can put animated images on the back wall, and so it becomes a cool performance stage.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then spacebar to go back.
Yeah, spacebar to go back, and
Oh.
there's other camera angles too that you can try, like using the one, two, three, and four keyboard
Oh.
keys.
Oh, oh, look at it.
What happened? It's the
Let's just
top
look
of
at
the
the different
logo.
angles. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
There goes the robot
Any
voice.
questions you're asking? Robot voice. The network. You'll come back in a second. Robot voice. Robot voice. We'll be back in a second. I think the network. There we go. And we're back.
All
Well,
right.
cool, man.
And this last thing, this
Yeah, let me
tempo, what does
know
that
how.
do? That makes it go faster or slower?
It Yeah, it speeds up and slows down. So go ahead and push play on the thing, and then use that to fast, 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 slow, slow, slow. So in cases where you can't use the sync button or you just don't want to, you can use this one to match the tempo. So if you have something playing on that track and it's faster, you can kind of speed it up by moving the slider forward.
Mm-hmm. All right. And what is
That's
that?
for this. That's for the sensitivity. So I think
Oh,
if you
that's right.
turn it turn it all the way to the left, and now you grab that.
It's not hardly doing nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Heavy. I don't want to be heavy.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I mean that's. I think that's it then. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
do what you
gotta.
can. Yeah,
I was gonna say I gotta see what that missed call was about.
yeah. Check out that call. Try loading up your own tracks. It's a whole nother game when you have your own music in there. Then it becomes a really special experience. So I highly recommend you try that
Oh,
and
you gotta
let
put it
us
in the
know.
C folder. That's my SSD. That's not a lot of space in there, man.
Yeah, I mean, to start with, you can overwrite that. We have a way where you can change that location. But to start with, just create the folder, the TribeXstar folder inside your music folder inside your C drive, and then add your files there, and it'll automatically pop up here, so you can play those tracks.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, homie.
I'll see you around.
I'll see you on Discord. Okay, fist bump. Boom. All right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was definitely cool. Now you gotta work on making the stuff.